Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about 10 tips to surviving the holidays when you have mental health issues. For me, especially the last few years, it's been really hard for me to get through the holidays. This always seems to be the time where my world comes crashing down, and then as soon as January hits, I have that rush to have a better life. So it's almost like I start in January up here and I just slowly get down to the bottom of December, and it's always terrible. And not to mention, almost 3 years ago, I lost my best friend to cancer at this time. So I have a long history of having a really rough time with the holidays. I tend to have family drama and pretty much what everybody else has. I just don't take it the same way. So I have 10 tips here that can help you get through the holidays. I know they're going to help me get through the holidays this year, and I hope that they help. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have anything that you do in particular, or if you found any of these to be helpful. So let's get started. The first thing that you can do that I think is one of the most important is to keep your routine. So most of us have a routine in the morning or a routine at night or both that we do every single day that keeps us on track. So I have a morning routine where I get up at 6 o'clock and I brush my teeth and I put on gym clothes. I go to the gym. I come back, have coffee, breakfast. It's every single day. It's the exact same thing. And at nighttime, I do exactly the same thing every single night. So don't let the holidays disrupt your routine, because when your routine is thrown off, you're thrown off and you're way more likely to experience negative emotions. The second thing you can do that I personally think is the most important thing is to practice self-care. So I know for me during the holidays, it's really easy to forget about myself because I'm so surrounded by everybody else and what everybody else is doing and feeling, and I always want to make everyone happy, and so I forget about myself. But the best thing that you can do is to practice self-care. So that's whatever way that you do that. For me, I take a bath almost every single night to kind of unwind. I lately have been actually doing my hair and makeup even if I'm not leaving the house, just because it makes me feel better. But it's anything that makes you feel good, keep doing it. Don't let what everybody else needs negate what you need. So always pay attention to yourself. If you notice that you need to start taking care of yourself, leave and go take care of yourself. It's more important that you are able to keep your emotions regulated than to not take care of yourself and blow up or have any problems during the holidays. Another really important one that took me many years to realize is that you can walk away. So for a really long time, pretty much almost all of my teen years, I didn't realize that I had the opportunity to walk away from a situation or a conversation that was making me upset or angry or feel uncomfortable. I would just kind of stick with it because it's my family or it's my friend, and that's what you're supposed to do because their voice matters too. And while it does matter, you matter too. So if there's a situation that's making you really uncomfortable, or you are starting to get really upset or angry, walk away. You do not need to be in that situation. You don't need to be there. You don't need to be listening to what they're saying, because obviously it's not helping anyone. So take the time to walk away. And if someone gets upset or angry that you dismiss them, explain to them later, once you've calmed down, why you had to walk away. Because for me, if I walk away, it means I'm getting significantly angry, and I would rather walk away from you than blow up on you or start yelling or get into a fight. It's much easier to just walk away from the situation completely. Now, this is one that not a lot of people probably agree with, but I think that it is important to state. If you want to be alone during the holidays and you don't want to be around people, don't. You are okay being alone. Naturally, if you're being alone because you are isolating yourself because you don't think you're loved or because you want to harm yourself, obviously do not put yourself in that situation. But if you don't like the holidays, like a lot of people don't celebrate them. Don't go out with your family if you don't want to. Be at home. But the opposite also applies. If you don't want to be alone and you want to be with people, go be with people. Go be around anyone. You can go anywhere. You don't have to be alone if you don't want to, and you also don't have to be around people if you don't want to. Another one that might sound obvious, but I know for me wasn't obvious, is that You do not have to feel obligated to do something or be around someone that you don't want to. So if you are invited to an event that you don't want to go to, don't go to it. You don't have to be guilty or upset with yourself because they wanted you to go and you didn't. You are your own person and you can make your own decisions. And just because something makes someone else happy doesn't mean you need to be miserable to make them happy. So don't be around those people that cause you harm or make you feel uncomfortable or angry or anything. And don't go to situations that you don't want to be in. It's totally okay to say no. This is your holiday season too. Just because somebody else wants you to go doesn't mean you have to. Another one that I need to honestly learn from a little bit myself is to learn to speak up. So most of the time when somebody says something that bothers me or makes me uncomfortable or angry, I just kind of keep it to myself. I don't really say anything because I'm afraid of conflict. But this might actually be the best time that you can tell somebody that they make you feel a certain way. So if you're like me and maybe you went vegan and somebody makes a really negative comment about the choices that you have for eating, explain to them why you eat the way that you eat and that you are not okay with them making comments or joking about the way that you eat, because honestly, it's none of their business and they have no right to make any comments, especially if you're doing something to better yourself. The same goes for if they make a comment about your mental illness or the way you live your life or whether you're single or dating or having kids or not. Tell somebody to stop asking those questions. That's totally okay. You can speak your mind. You can tell people the way that you feel. You don't have to feel obligated to just take it like I do. Just tell them what they said is not okay and do it in a constructive way that you are not super emotional, but at the same time, you're able to really express how you feel. And if the person that you're explaining this to gets really defensive, then it means that they're missing something in their life or they aren't expressing things the way that they want to be, or maybe they are jealous and that's what they want to do, but don't allow it to impact you. Just keep telling them it's not okay for you to say those things. And if it starts getting into a heated argument, like I said in a previous one, walk away. You don't have to be in that argument. The next two actually kind of go hand in hand with each other. The first is that if you are going to a family event or a party or any situation that you recognize that will put you in a certain mood or certain events transpire, go in it with a game plan. So if you, like me, if you know that sometimes when you're around family, you feel like the small person or like they are kind of teaming up on you, go in with the game plan of something like, I'm going to tell them not to do that, or even walking in with a strategy plan. So I know for me that I have to have coping skills with me so I remember to do them. So you can, like I said, this is the second part. You can walk in with a list of coping skills and just keep it in your pocket. So when you start to feel angry or sad or emotional, you can whip out your coping skills and either do a coping thought or maybe do some of your distraction techniques. They're everywhere all over the internet. You can get lists and lists of these, and it'll be helpful to have on hand with you. But go into every event with an action plan. So say this situation happens, these are the skills I'm going to use, or this is the distraction I'm going to use. Anything that you know will help you get out of that situation or make you feel better. Second to last one is do things that you love. So though holidays are really hard for me, there are certain holiday traditions that I really enjoy. One of them is going to look at Christmas lights in really fancy neighborhoods. I just find them to be fascinating and kind of like I can dream build because one day I want to have one of those houses. So do anything during the holiday season that makes you happy. And it doesn't even have to be holiday related. If you just enjoy going shopping, go shopping. If you enjoy going to a spa, go to a spa. Do things that you love. You don't have to do everything everyone else wants to do. Do things that you want to do because it's your holiday season. It's not their holiday season. It's yours. And the last and most important thing that I can share with you guys is talk to someone if you need to talk. You can set up a way with a therapist to have a conversation before any of these events happen or after these events happen. Maybe you can have a phone call with a friend that you know and trust that can talk you through things. There are websites that you can join groups. There are places you can make friends. There are any number of ways that you can talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. I'll make sure in the description below that the suicide hotline is down there. I know that sounds like I'm saying if you're going to commit suicide, call. Obviously do, but you can also just call and talk to somebody if you need to. If you have no other option, I highly recommend calling them and just talking with them because they are trained to help you in their situation. So find somebody or something or anyone you can talk to, even if it's just journaling, to be able to get those emotions out. And don't keep them in because that's how situations get worse. I know that I always keep my feelings in and I tend to not talk about the way that I feel, and it's gotten me in a lot of trouble and it's caused a lot more problems than it needed to. If I had just reached out to somebody and talked to somebody, then I probably would have been okay. So reach out to somebody if you need to talk. Even if you don't really feel like you want to talk, do it anyways because it doesn't hurt. It kind of helps to talk to somebody and express the way that you feel. And yeah, I hope that these 10 tips were really helpful to you guys. I know that everybody handles the holidays differently, and you don't have to have a mental health issue to use these. Family events can be a lot for anyone in this entire world. Even if you have the best family in the world, it can be really overwhelming to be around that many people, especially if you don't see them very often. And they have all these questions for you or any number of things. So I hope these were helpful. If you guys have any other tips, leave them in the comments below. I'm sure other people will read them and really appreciate them. And I love you guys so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a fantastic holiday season and use these tips if you need them. And I will see you guys in the next video.